Welcome to almost an island, or what they call Presqu'ile Provincial Park. We are back here on this Thanksgiving for a second time to give this park another shot and to check out its amenities and histories and see what this place has to offer us. So come join us for a walk in the park and welcome us back to Presqu'ile Provincial Park.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Presqu'ile Provincial Park is located about 2 hours east of Toronto, and you will most likely have to travel the dreaded 401 at some point to get there. We left on a Saturday morning, but it was still super busy on this Thanksgiving weekend. The 407 would have cost $65. And here we are, stuck in traffic. It did eventually open up after Oshawa, so we thought about Presqu'ile the rest of the way. The nice coastline, some of the spectacular sights, and of course the lighthouse. The campgrounds at Presqu'ile are situated at the elbow of the park. Presqu'ile has 8 different campgrounds with a mixture of forested and coastal sites. You can see the OntarioParks website for further details about what suits your setup preference. It is a very large park with a total of 394 sites, 160 of them being electrical. The park has 8 group campsites as well as some various roofed accommodations. There are 3 premium comfort stations within the park. One at the High Bluffs campground, one in Maples and Hidden Valley. High Bluffs is the best choice for a nice central station that is easily accessible if you have the trots.
Oh my God.
So, after that long trip, we proceeded to check in at the main gate, which is about 4 kilometers from the camping area. And now the sun is shining on almost an island. It's so hard to ignore those breathtaking views of Lake Ontario as you drive up to your campsite.
Alright guys, that was a super annoying trip down the 401. It took a little while. It was pretty busy because of Thanksgiving. The en routes were pretty packed, so we knew this was going to happen, so we brought our own sandwiches. So we're going to enjoy a sandwich before we get set up, and then we're going to check out Presqu'ile and let you know what it's like. So guys, we got this new tent we're going to try out this weekend. It's a quick setup tent. So that is it guys, not much to it. Pretty quick setup, takes about 5 minutes, and you do have to latch it down to the ground. That's the only trick, but it's pretty good if you're in a rush and it's late at night, it's kind of dark. Now another thing we did purchase recently were these nice little cots here. They do take up a lot of space, but the advantage is they're high up off the ground, and when you're getting in our age, it starts to get really hard to get up off the ground. All you really need is a sleeping pad, a sleeping bag, and it's pretty much like sleeping in your own bed. So why spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on RVs and campers when you can just get a nice cot, a nice pad, and you're living the dream. And guys, another item that we purchased to help us get through these colder nights, especially when you don't have an electrical site. And what we discovered was non-electrical sites tend to be a lot better than electrical sites. So we did buy this, it's called a Heater Buddy, and it's basically powered by these our small propane tanks here, and they're actually quite cheap now. We picked this up for about around $130, and when they first came out on the market they used to be well over $200, which is why I never wanted to purchase one in the first place, because I knew they would come down in price, and they have. So if you want to get away from the electricity and try these out, by all means, go ahead. And just so you know, we will be monitoring CO2 levels just in case, but it should be okay. There is a little ventilation in the tent, so it shouldn't be an issue. Okay guys, we do have everything set up now, and it's getting a little bit chilly. It's about 19 degrees, but with the lake being so close, it is quite chilly, which is why I got the nice high-vis jacket on right now. And we're not going to actually cook dinner tonight. We are actually going to go out to restaurants with family and do the restaurant thing. We'll be back later on, probably around 7, and we'll get a fire going and have some snacks, and that'll be it. The main dinner will be tomorrow, so that'll be a nice big surprise, and it'll be a Thanksgiving surprise. So stay tuned and check it out. We're gonna have some dinner tonight, have a nice fire, have a nice little sleep, get up in the morning, and check out Presqu'ile Park. So stay with us, it's coming soon. Okay guys, that is our little heater buddy setup we got going here. And I can tell you right now, it is pretty toasty in here. So this is gonna work out very well, and especially for winter camping. Morning everyone. It's a little bit of a cold, chilly morning. It did get pretty cool last night, down to about, I'd say about 2 degrees, but the heater buddy did keep us very warm. So this morning we have a nice little fire going. We're gonna have some breakfast wraps, and then we're gonna check out the sights of Presqu'ile and let you know what this park's all about. So stay tuned and be with us. So in our wraps this morning, we're using this nice little tiny tomato called the purple bumblebee tomato. And it is an organic tomato, and it's a West Coast seed. So let's try these out and see what they taste like. And they're actually blight resistant, so it's a pretty decent little tomato. And as you can see, it's got a little funny kind of pattern on it. Almost like a bumblebee, wouldn't you think? Alright guys, I ain't no chef, but I'll be cooking some good stuff, and these wraps look pretty good. I'm glad I got them done before the rain's gonna start. So let's finish this up and we'll check in later. Alright, we're done breakfast, and now we're gonna go check out some of the amenities and the historical points of Presqu'ile Provincial Park. And I'm just waiting for my wife to get her stuff together, and I'm sure you all know what that is like. And here is the Presqu'ile Amphitheatre, in case you're interested.
Presqu'ile Park is the 5th oldest provincial park in Ontario and has a colourful history, as do most Ontario parks. It was an ideal spot for a lighthouse to show the way for the early mariners who traveled Lake Ontario. It was also a tremendous piece of land, and it still is. You can enjoy the many trails that circumnavigate the interior of the park, and there is also a nature center you can visit, and of course, the infamous lighthouse.
So we did make it to the lighthouse. Unfortunately, the interpretive center is closed right now, so we won't be checking that out inside, but we will be taking a look at the lighthouse, which is a very important part of Presqu'ile Park. And so this, guys, is the infamous Presqu'ile Lighthouse.
In 1894, storms damaged the original limestone exterior of the structure, which was said to be the victim of poor workmanship. The solution was to cover it with painted cedar shingles to provide a protective cover. The light was originally an oil lantern, but changed to kerosene in 1860 for a brighter burn, and then electricity was introduced in 1935. In 1952, the white light was changed to an automated red, and the end of an era was over for the lighthouse keeper, as automation took over, and its new purpose, was to guide pleasure craft. The installed shingles lasted for 120 years. In 2012, the PPLPS began to make a plan to refurbish the lighthouse, and by 2018, a complete set of new shingles were installed. The lighthouse is also cursed with the tragedy of the Speedy, a schooner sailing from York with a prisoner and other high profiles. This murder case was to be held in the Newcastle district, but the ship appeared briefly at Presqu'ile and then vanished forever. Nobody ever saw it again.
Anyways, guys, that is the lighthouse. You've seen one, you've seen them all. Now let's move on.
And now we arrive at the area they call the Calf Pasture. The property was purchased by John Atkins, an accountant from New York City, who brought his family for vacations along the pristine shores. But he suddenly passed in 1933, and the property was left to Jack, his son. Along with his siblings, the Atkins family farmed the land and engaged with many community services, including harvesting ice from the bay. Trying to find the pier from the old hotel that once stood near the farm was somewhat challenging.
And I'm still not sure if this is the pier or not. I thought it was. There was a little spit out here, but there are some Canada geese out here, so that's really all I can see. And I can see why they probably have a hunter's blind out here.
And in 1956, Presqu'ile came under the Provincial Parks Act, and the process began for the government to buy out the remaining shoreline properties, which became top priority. The Atkins family farm was the last to go. We found a little community beside the park where you can visit the old remaining government dock at the small park called the Government Dock Park. The thriving hotel that once held community dances began to decline in the 60s due to the 401 construction and many other factors. And nothing remains except the old concrete pier.
So it is time to make our traditional, untraditional style turkey dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. So what we got is we found these guys. They're Gardein stuffed turkey. It's like two personal stuffed turkeys in here. And yeah, it's not real turkey. It's a plant-based turkey, of course. Let's see what we got in here. Mostly soy protein, wheat gluten, onions, celery. So not really that bad, not too fake. But my concern is we usually cook these in the oven, and today I'm gonna have to do these on the fire. So that's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. So we're gonna have these. We got some asparagus and some little potatoes, and that's your Thanksgiving dinner. So stay tuned and we're gonna see how these work out. And actually we believe these are discontinued now, or not available in Canada anyways. So if anybody could tell me different, please leave a message in the comments and let me know if these are still available, because they are quite handy. So stay tuned and let's see what happens with these guys. So yeah, we're gonna try these on the fire, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but we'll see if these work out. And if anything, there'll be a good smoky flavor. So smoked stuffed fake turkey. So that is our setup. We got the rolls on the grill, we got the asparagus on the grill, no oil on the asparagus, so we'll see how that works out. And we should be ready in 15 minutes, just before dark. And I'm hoping the rain holds off for now, because we are feeling a few sprinkles, so we're gonna hope we get away with this one. All right, so let's see what this fake turkey tastes like. Stuffed turkey, that is. What do you think?
Yummy.
Yummy. There you go. It's actually pretty good. Once you dump all the cranberry sauce on it, gravy, you got all the spices in there, it's actually pretty good. Yeah. And just so you know, this is way better than the tofurkey version. And guys, if you are watching the channel and you do like what you see, or actually even if you don't like what you see, please subscribe, help a fellow Canadian who's down on his luck. Okay guys, we're about to wrap it up here anyways. It is Monday morning, Thanksgiving morning, and we are heading back across the city and preparing ourselves for the work week. Stay tuned for the next episode. It's coming up very soon. It'll be Silent Lake, and it'll be a little bit chillier, but we do have an electrical site, so that'll be very interesting. So stay tuned for that, and please if you could, subscribe to the channel and help me out. And yeah, that'll be it. And believe me, next time I'll have a better jacket on. This thing is a little bit too bright, so stay tuned for that. I'll be styling something different.
Presqu'ile is a terrific park for making yourself feel like you're on the ocean. There are numerous day use facilities and group camping. The layout is fairly flat and large RV friendly, and there are plenty of things to do locally, including a fabulous museum at CFB Trenton. You can explore the beauty of Prince Edward County, or relax and just enjoy the surf rolling in from Lake Ontario. You may have an issue with midge bugs in the early spring, but the migratory track of close to 300 bird species will make you forget about it. And by the way, there's a super awesome beach at the day use area and a marsh boardwalk.
You walk into the wet sand, oh, 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 and you know